What is going on, Sooner Surge? Welcome, Sooner Surge. Guys, I'll just be flat out honest with you. We just had a yell fest for about 2 minutes before we got on the air. We just rolled right into this. Maybe if you could see what happens off there, sometimes it'd be pretty cool because I know y'all think sometimes it's on the cameras we're yelling. We've been yelling for about 2 or 3 minutes. So, Germ, we're live now, so I guess we can start. What's going on?
I see a lot of people talking about Dan Mullen. We've been saying that for a while. Why is everyone talking about it now?
Hey, I want to bring up
what
something.
What changed? Why aren't people talking about Dan Mullen now?
I want to bring up something. Hey, I want to bring up, Bobby mentioned Colin Klein. It's a name I would definitely keep an eye on. And here's the thing. I don't know what people's thoughts are about Colin Klein, but I would keep an eye on him because of the K-State stuff, kind of the culture he grew up in with Kansas State. I know it's a lateral move to go to OU or whatever from Texas A&M. I'm just saying, it is a name to consider. I think you got to consider, as Bobby said.
Hey, everyone's saying because Dusty Dvorak mentioned him today. Hey, he went on. Wait.
Yeah.
He went on Eichert and Lehman to mention it. Jay, you've been saying Dan Mullen for a while. Dusty says it, and everyone's like, oh, Dan Mullen could be coming here.
I actually thought it was funny because on the breakdown, he said some of the stuff about he was great at developing quarterbacks. Same stuff that people bashed me on last night. Now they're
me, Jay. I got ripped for that.
I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
That's hilarious. All of a sudden now it has credibility, though.
Well, Dusty's on ESPN. Hey, there's no chance. Somebody put in there, Dan Mullen's making $7.6 million. I think he was being sarcastic. There's no chance he's making that much money. Hey, Dusty knows him. I'm not saying I know.
No one said we know Dan Mullen.
I never said that.
I don't know.
I have no clue about Dan Mullen.
Yeah.
Let's move on. What's going on tonight, Jeremy?
Would you be excited about Colin Klein?
Here's where I am with Colin Klein. What's up, KB? How you doing tonight? Here's where I'm at with Colin Klein. I know a buddy that's pretty well in the A&M side of things, and he did not like the Colin Klein hire at A&M. As the season's on, I keep tagging. I said, what do you think about Colin Klein? He's like, actually, he's doing a lot better than I thought. I think he's a good offensive coordinator. Is he a home run hire? I don't think so. But if you're trying to get a guy to come coach with Brent Venables, him and Craddock and different people that know Brent Venables might be guys that are more willing to come. I don't know. You got a situation with Oklahoma. So,
hey, Michael, should people give more credibility to Dusty Dvorak? Absolutely. But it doesn't mean what Jay said or what I've said is hogwash either.
Who cares?
I'm just making a statement, Jay.
Obviously you do.
Mez heard that BV took Mullen house shopping in Norman today. Yeah, that's a rumor mill.
Ricky says Arbuckle seems to be the favorite. Here's what I know on November 13th.
The favorite.
I've heard 4 names that everybody thinks is a favorite. Nobody knows. That's what it tells me. Nobody knows right now. I don't think anybody knows. Yeah, and I understand this. We've talked about this before on the Willie Stein stuff, Philip. I don't see any chance.
No.
He wouldn't. There's no way he's leaving Oregon to come to OU. No way. Because even if OU offered him money, it's not like Oregon wouldn't. Now, the Dan Lanning stuff today was kind of interesting. What do you think about all that?
I haven't looked at it much, Jay.
It's just, I guess, a lot of NFL guys love Lanning for the NFL. So, I don't know.
Then Will Stein's not leaving anywhere because he'd be the next head coach at Oregon.
Yeah, Castellanos in the portal. Who cares?
I'm not in love with Castellanos.
Yeah, I'm not either. I mean, he's good. I don't think he's like amazing, but
he's not a home run portal guy, in my opinion.
A lot of people would compare the Arbuckle hire to be like a Lincoln Riley type deal. Very young, up and comer. Could he do the same thing as that? I don't know. He runs the air raid offense. I think you got to ask yourself if you're Brent Venables. And this is why I said maybe the Colin Klein stuff also. 2 names right now that I think if I had to pick right now, okay,
it's Mullen and Klein.
That's my 2 that I think they're focused in on. That's just me. And I listen, like Jeremy said before, I'm not anybody in the media. I am a fan. I have no freaking clue. All I'm saying is this. I think those two guys would give you offenses that would, if for SEC play, not air raid, it would give you more pro style, different effects of it than like guys like Arbuckle's pretty much air raid. So he is that. He's a Kitley guy from Texas Tech. So I do think those two guys, if you're looking at, and I wonder, is Brent Venables looking for more of that type of offense?
Yeah,
or do you think he's going to go more back to the air raid like Levy and them? I mean,
what else can you say about Craddock, Jay? He was fired from Arkansas, wasn't he?
Well, here's the thing I don't like about Craddock. You ready for it? What I don't like about Craddock is he's from the Chad Morris tree. I'm not a big Chad Morris guy.
Hunter loves Kitley.
You think Kitley should be mentioned before Arbuckle, I think is what Hunter's saying. And it's weird that Arbuckle's name is coming up and Kitley's isn't. Isn't that kind of weird?
That is strange because he's kind of a disciple.
And so Bobby says, and I would agree with this 1,000%, Bobby. I think those are the three names. I agree wholeheartedly. And in my order, I would go Mullen 1, Klein 2, Craddock 3. That's where I would go. Those are my three in that order.
And I agree with you, Michael. I agree that's why people are talking about it. That's obviously why.
I don't care if people bash me anyway. And Hunter, you're right.
I come on there every night to get bashed.
I don't know why it's that big of a deal, Jerm.
It's not a big deal. Why do you keep saying, why is it a big deal, Jerm?
Well, when your voice raises and you get talking faster.
I don't like it when you come at me for no reason.
Jeremy, when your mouth moves faster than the words, I know it matters to you. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, you should try to take a little dose. You should have a little dose of it, Jay. It's called passion. You don't have any.
I have plenty of passion, dude.
You don't have any. You've slapped the table a couple times. That's all you have. I'll call you, Hunter, and Jackson out. I don't care.
Call me out for what?
Have some passion.
Let's open the phone lines. Jeez. Hunter, drop the phone line in here. Let's get calls on here.
Urban Meyer's done. Urban Meyer's done.
I agree. Catching up, guys. See you live in 4 minutes. All right. Mark, appreciate it. Now, this is another name I think Dusty brought up, or somebody on the breakdown, Spavital from Baylor. You know, Tulsa guy, Steve Spavital and all that.
I don't like
Appreciate it, Jesse.
Hey, someone said, didn't Mullen turn down OU last year? Well, first off, no, I don't think so. Second of all, if he did, that even bodes more that to me, that makes it more interesting. Okay. Because I think that would mean nothing if he turned him down last year. Oh yeah. Hunter was giving some picks. Yeah.
Yeah. He did pretty good. I think he's 3-1 or 2-2 last week. Do you think there's a quarterback shootout going on?
I don't know what's going on at the quarterback position.
Yeah, I agree, Bobby, with that. 21 days. Yeah, Jake Spavital from Union. Correct, Michael.
Also was at West Virginia. Also, hey, Dana Holgerson's calling plays again.
That didn't take long for Nebraska. They must really not like what's the guy's name from South Carolina? I just drew a blank on his name. Somebody will drop it in here in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Satterhorn. What is his name?
Satterfield?
Satterfield. I think that's it. Yeah. Okie Lawn says, I told a radio personality to take off the crimson colored glasses and got blasted. Ignore him. He texting crap to get a response. Huh? I don't know what you're saying, Okie Long guy. I guess you called in on the radio and told somebody to take the crimson colored glasses off. Yeah, Marcus Satterfield. When do you think BB will name a starter? I don't know if he'll name a starter. I think they'll just roll.
I don't know if he will either.
Do they have to name one?
You don't have to.
You had some flips today.
Man. Keep them guessing.
You had some flips today. Caleb Cunningham flipped to Ole Miss. Also from Alabama. Also Alabama's interior offensive lineman, 5-star, going to go visit Colorado this weekend.
Hey, I don't want to get ripped right now because the last time I mentioned this, I got absolutely just ripped on here, and people take things out of context. I listened to some of the players today, Jay. Danny Stutzman specifically.
And
It's exactly what I said 2 weeks ago. There is nobody, in my opinion, there's nobody that has given up on BV at all, player-wise. Players aren't jumping ship. People said, oh, Stutzman and Bowman, they might as well not play the last 2 games. They're going to play. They're all in. And I think that says a lot about BV and his motivational ways and his inspiring ways and what he's built there. Now, winning games would be the biggest thing that needs to happen. But I'm just saying, I think that's a great sign.
Hey,
and if you say that I'm wrong for saying that's a great sign, then I'm not even going to bother arguing with you tonight.
No, I do think this, Jeremy. Here's where you're wrong. And KB Longhorns brought it up a few times. The comparisons with Strong at Texas, the players loved Strong, loved him.
Yeah, I'm not saying okay.
And what's that mean? I mean, they loved him, but they weren't.
He hasn't lost the team. That's what I'm saying.
I know, but that to me, okay, I get it. I agree with you there. I think they love playing for him. I agree. I'm just saying, realistically,
to do with this coaching, Jay.
Let me ask you this. And this was brought up in the Discord, and somebody, I can't remember who put it. Maybe it was Steeler Man. I can't remember. About asking it tonight as a question. I think it's a good question. They're keeping Brent Venables till next year. We already know that. What do they have to do next year for him to stay another year? Like what do they have to be at next year? What do you think? Is there a record they need to get to? Is it improvement overall? What do you have to think they have to get to next year to say he'll be back another year?
I've already given my opinion. I don't want to go down this again.
8-4.
I think they need to make the playoff, but whatever.
So you think if they go 5-7 this year and they go 8-4 next year, they won't keep him again?
They probably would, Jay. I'm just saying, me personally.
I think it's ridiculous. 8-4 would be kept.
I saw that Reader just says he hates this team. Teague says, do I have to remind everyone we don't have our 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 wide receiver? Actually, we do. We got Burks and Fruit back last week, but O-line is not good, and we don't have a prolific tight end. And you're mentioning that the quarterback play has been atrocious and lack of coaching on the offense.
Let me say something. I'm going to say something.
It doesn't matter. That's an excuse. You can't use those.
Real quick, let me say something.
At the end, it doesn't matter.
Let me say something about one thing here. I think it was Jackson that dropped earlier in the Discord about Bauer Sharp and how they missed on him. Okay. And I agree. Bauer Sharp has not been good. Okay. I agree with that. But guys, you're fooling yourself if you don't think OU under Lincoln Riley, Jeff Lebby got players about Bauer Sharp's talent-wise to be really good and scheme-wise. A lot of it is scheme too. I agree Bauer Sharp's not no awesome player, but I think a lot of it too is the scheme. I mean, Stogner, I mean, I'm trying to think of guys that you could go down the list like, man, they played way better than their talent. I just think the scheme right now is not effective. And I'm not saying Bauer Sharp should even be starting next year. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the scheme they're running is really helping nothing out as far as what they're doing offensively.
Hey, Sooner Freak 29, I like what you said. I think Sooner Freak 29 needs to email us at ousportsroundup@gmail.com.
Why?
I've tried to. He said he was on the sideline. I just really kind of want to know who he played with.
Hey, we got Chester opening up the calls tonight. What's up, Chester?
Hey, I know we all bash Sharp, but what I'm thinking is he's the only one that has the guts to even say, hey, throw me the ball. What do you think about that?
Well, I think he is kind of that type.
I mean, now to me, obviously a jet sweep at all is crap, but the plays are bad. But if he was just played as a regular tight end, he might actually be somewhat decent.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I see Stillerman's comment says, how many different ways can you scheme him? They've given the ball. Yeah, they gave him to him on a 1 yard out and on a tight end reverse.
Right. But if he was just in a normal offense where he can just be a tight end, not some second quarterback on the field, maybe he'd actually be pretty good.
If he was a fullback, if he was an H-back, he'd be unbelievable.
But there is one thing I'm mad at him about.
He can't block.
It was the Missouri game on the fake punt. Why are you jumping over Luther Burden, who is the one player that's going to hurt you? Why don't you put your head in his chest and truck him and maybe put him out of the game on that?
I do not like the jumping. I hate it.
I always worry about it.
Why didn't you hammer him he was actually going to try and tackle you, blow him up.
I
You
agree.
could have put him out of the game.
I agree with that.
They do think he's Ty Warren, but he's not.
Yeah, well, I mean, he ain't no Gresham. I mean, Gresham and Keith Jackson are one of a kind. That's generational talent. You don't
Correct.
see them often.
Hey,
But if he was just a normal tight end, I think he'd be pretty good.
But don't you think if they used him more of like Andrews, where they spread him out instead of on the
Right.
line blocking? That's
Well, actually, that was one of the criticisms I have telling y'all about Arnold. There was a play where Arnold just puts his head down and runs, and if he just sweeps to the left and extends the play, Sharp is wide open on the sideline and could have at minimum took it 20, 25 yards, if not farther, if a receiver blocked for him. That's why I was, man, like I said, and I still got to point out again, Fabechi is horrible.
He's
I really
bad.
hope you all watch that. Somebody, I think is the guy you had on here, Josh McQuish. What's his name? McQuistion. Did y'all have him?
We didn't have.
We've
Josh.
never had McQuiston.
That wasn't the guy you had on there talking about NIL
That
earlier
was
in the year.
Brian Bedford.
Brian Bedford.
My bad.
Oh, you're
Holy
good.
crap, I was wrong. Well, apparently he's been doing these little breakdowns, and I was like, oh crap, I should have just watched that rather than watch the game, you know. But oh man, I think Sharp would be good if he was just a normal tight end in a normal scheme. I don't know
Yeah.
what they're doing
I
out
don't know
there.
how good he could be, but I just think they're not scheming it very good.
But I mean, jet sweep is so 20 years ago. Can we get rid of it, please?
I
Apparently
agree.
not.
It was like when we used to do the bubble screen to wide receivers. I was like, please stop doing that. We get pick sixed all the time. You remember back in the day? But
Yeah.
Thanks,
but
Chester.
yeah, y'all are going.
Hey, you too,
Hey, thanks,
Chester. We got to
Chester.
get to the next guy.
Hey.
Sorry. We got what's up, Jeremy?
I was just going to say real quick, Sooner WX, I've never wanted UNLV OC. I've been the one, out of everyone that's been on here, as far as their faces on the screen, I've been the one that's been against.
I'll back you on that. I'll back you on that. Hey, let's
I've been
get to Greg. What's up, Greg?
Hey, what's up? Just switching topics real quick. I haven't heard, not really on this channel or really any others for that matter, but the supposed, I guess, I think it's next year that the conferences and all these schools are just going to be allowed to pay players straight up, and it's something like a 22 million per school cap per year. Is that something OU's prepared to do? Do we have do we have the money to do that and pay for some big time offensive coordinator?
Well, that money's the revenue, correct? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I mean, supposedly starting next year or the year after, that the conferences and the schools will just,
Yes.
be paying players. That's what I'm talking
Yes, they
about.
get
Now, there's
the
still
revenue.
NIL and all that, of course, but
Yeah, that they get the revenue. I thought it was around 20 million, but maybe Hunter can drop it in there.
And what Coconut Greg is saying, though, and this is the question, Coconut Greg just asked the question, is OU ready to be that, to pay that? And I know there's some things that came out today. We might as well get to it. This is a good segue, Coconut Greg, because people are saying, well, everyone said that now that next year OU's going to basically give BV all the money and resources he needs. I have a problem with that. Why wasn't it done this year? That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
yeah, we seem
What
to be a
makes you
day
think it
late and a
wasn't?
dollar short on all the good decisions. I don't know, but I do know schools like Texas, who are already, 2 and 3 years ahead of us right now, they're going to, trust me, they're ready. They're going to pay the guys. Is OU, are we being proactive in this, preparing for it? I sure hope so. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It's a good topic, Greg. Appreciate you bringing it up.
Always. Have a good one.
Great
See ya.
segue.
Hey, you too.
We
Hey,
did not
Jeremy.
tell Greg to talk about that, but it's a perfect segue.
It's a
because
perfect segue, and here's what I'll say. I think, and I don't know if it was Bobby that put it in there today, that I think this is a good thing. And by the way, if you're not in the Discord, sign up for it. It's in the description of the video. You can go sign up for it. It's literally, if you get a cup of coffee from Starbucks, $5, it's all it is for the whole month. And you chat 24/7. Well, there's some good stuff that comes in the Discord, even Longhorn fans in there. But what I don't know if it was Bobby, somebody brought it up that I think maybe OU realized after beginning the SEC in year one, like, whoa, this is a whole different animal. We got to start doing more than we did in the NIL. If you look at NIL in the portal, what they did, other than Dominique Williams, I can't imagine them paying Spencer Brown that much money, Bauer Sharp that much money. I think the question has to be asked, though. Yeah, great conversation. I think the question has to be asked. Where are you at? And this may be a touchy subject for people. Where are you at with paying every player, including preferred walk-ons? And while you think about it, let's get to Johnson. Johnson's on the line. What's up, Johnson? Connect your mic, Johnson. It says your mic's not connected. Try it again. Maybe we got him now. Try it now.
Got it now?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Hey, has anyone talked about the just the overall lack of development that the coaches have had with Arnold this whole season?
It's
If you
been
go
bad.
back, if you go back and look at, I went back and looked at the Missouri game, and it's like he always was supposed to step up to the pocket and then just scramble out of there. It's like if he would have shuffled a little bit to the left or to the right sometime, he has put people wide open. It's like, why is there not any development from the coaches to coach him and say, hey, look at this film. See, this is what you're doing. How can we improve this?
I'll answer that for you.
And I got an answer too, Jay.
Here's my answer for that. They go after the game and they go watch film, and you got a guy like Joe John Finley that's trying to develop. Joe John Finley set the trail. Those guys, I hate to be this way, but when they're watching film, you got a fullback and a tight end. I don't know if they know that much about quarterback play at all.
Hey, the other thing though, Jay, I know Mr. Flying High says Jackson doesn't trust the line. There's a trust issue, but there's also here's an issue. This is what I think, Johnson. I don't think OU has known what they're doing on offense. And first off, when he's better at the bootleg and getting outside the pocket one week, and then the next week they don't go to that, it's a totally different offense week in and week out. And then they run routes that are double moves or all the way across the field. I mean, I've never seen a team not be able to take a couple of deep shots down the field just on fly routes. Like, it's baffling what they're doing on offense. It is mind-boggling. I can't explain it. There's no chemistry. There's no identity. You think they might have some identity of ground pound with some bootlegs, with some flare passes, and the next week they come out there and they're running double moves. I don't know.
Hey, Johnson.
This is exactly why you cannot keep Brent Venables.
They're keeping him.
He's there, man.
Do you guys honestly believe that when they go get embarrassed on national TV in front of the whole nation when they're playing Alabama and they get blown out at LSU, they're gonna keep him?
Yeah.
You just think they're gonna overall they're gonna just keep him?
I do.
I think they're keeping him.
I think they're keeping him.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, if they keep him, this program is gonna be set back a decade.
And Johnson, I want to hear your take, because apparently what's being said is 2025, all the money, everything. We're going to back BV, all this stuff. They've said it. I'm saying what they've said. And they're going to give them all the money. Now, if you're going to do that, first off, why wasn't it done in 2024? Second thing is, it sounds like they're saying that BV is the guy. And people say, well, the boosters don't want BV. If they're throwing some money out there, apparently they do. So,
well, I was laughing when people said that they offered Maul and he turned him down. Brent Venables didn't offer anybody. He just had one guy because he did a lazy hire, and when he hired, Seth, it was just a lazy hire. It was out of convenience.
It was 2 days to hire Seth. It was out
of convenience. We're going to keep Joe John Finley because he knows Levy's offense, but then Joe John Finley had nothing to do with the offense. They didn't even run Levy's offense, and they still don't really run. I don't know what the hell they're running, to be honest with you. I can't figure it out.
Can't figure it out either, man.
I mean, it's like you were saying, Jeremy's like they found if he rolls out a little bit, he has some time and he can do some things with it, and that wasn't even in the game plan the other night.
Oh, I agree, John.
I don't know what they're doing, but I'll tell you, I don't know if you guys feel. But I've been watching OU football 50 years, and I would tell you that was the most deflating loss I've ever seen in OU history.
It was a tough fourth quarter. It was a tough tough ending of that game.
It's one of the worst ones in my opinion too, because it's a game you just needed and you should have won. So,
Yeah.
hey, does Arnold start against Alabama or Hawkins?
I think Arnold's going to start.
I do too.
I agree. Yeah.
I mean,
Johnson,
you got
we appreciate you.
Hey, I got one more question. I still don't understand why Joe C gets off scot-free with this contract, because if he wouldn't have done this contract last year, you think Venables would still be there? If the $44 million wasn't hanging over their head, would he still be there?
I'm not sure I can say he would be, but hey, that's a great segue that we're getting ready to say, and I appreciate you segueing us into that about Joe C.
Thanks, Johnson.
Thanks, Johnson. Sooner WX. No, I don't give him a pass. Go back to Trap House's comment. I got to get back to Trap House.
About the portal. Guys exodus.
Yes, the mass exodus. Look, everyone knows where I've been on the whole, and maybe Hunter can find it, where I've been on the whole BV thing. And I agree with Trap House. My biggest issue right now is Joe C. And listen, I'm not saying he should be fired. I'm saying I have an issue, and it's not even with the buyout necessarily. It's the fact that people are now saying, and I don't know how much truth there is to this, guys. People are saying OU's going to go all in 2025. There's an implication. If you say you're going to go all in 2025, you know what message you said? You didn't go all in 2024.
I think it's a silly topic. I think it's more of like maybe they realize maybe they didn't. I don't know. And hey, I don't know, Jerm. I really don't. It's crazy. I agree. Hey, let's get to KB Longhorn. He's on hold here. What's up, KB?
Gentlemen, how you doing this evening?
Good. You?
Good. Hey, Jeremy kind of stole my thunder there. I was going to say the same thing. After all these talks these last several months and listening to you guys, I think that's the most disturbing. Is saying they'll be all in now.
But is that true? Is that even true?
I'm saying if it is true, because that would be if you didn't know going into the SEC that you needed to be all in, that's a problem in itself. Being a program like OU.
Well, here's what I will say that maybe, and this might back up the thing that maybe they didn't feel like they were all in, because look in the portal at the offensive lineman like Lance Hurd. I mean, you could go down and list some guys they wanted. They just didn't pay enough to get them. Right.
But you're going to go all in now. But that's like saying you don't have the talent, or you don't have. Are they saying they can't recruit, or are they saying they can't develop?
Well,
and you can't spend all this money, and it's really not that issue. It's the issue of the coaching staff.
Well, I think it's more of, okay, you have all the resources to go get the biggest OC hire you can get. We'll pay whatever it is for the year that you need to get him here. And also, whatever you need from the portal, we're going to support you to go get it. Now, here's the thing, though, is that people aren't talking about. Brent Venables was under Bob Stoops, Bill Snyder, and Dabo Swinney. He's not the most portal guy. You know what I mean? That's
right.
I mean, he always preaches development. It's a 4-year, you want them to get better by this. When they're a senior, they should be all that. So a lot of things have to change, I think, offensively. It has to be, they got coaching staff, all of it. But you got to go play in the portal with money, NIL. You got to pay an OC to come in. So they're going to have to be all in, or even with BV, without BV, it wouldn't work, right?
Well, I agree with you. I just thought it was a weird thing to say at this point.
Yeah,
I agree, KB. I agree with you too. It's like, so now they're going to back him when people are saying they don't even want. I mean, you know what I mean? Like the boosters, a lot of people saying, well, the boosters, they probably want to get rid of BV, but now they're going to throw all the money there. It's weird.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Exactly.
It's weird.
Hey, thanks,
all right,
KB.
gentlemen. Have a good one.
Appreciate it.
Jay, let me get a couple of things. One, thanks for the super plate in 20. If BV goes,
oh, I'm sorry. I clicked the wrong button. I was trying to.
BV goes 8-5 next year, it'll be terrible because OU president sounds like he's okay with that, and that's not good enough for OU. Okay, thanks for the super. Yeah, that's something to think about. Hey, someone said it was Coconut Greg. OU was pretty much, they thought they could win autopilot, and that's true. They said, we are OU, and now that's part of the issue too. It's not just we're going to go all in. I had an issue with that, but it's also last year I think OU thought that they could get some average guys out of the portal and do okay, and I also want to get to two more things. Mr. Flying High, Hunter, if you can go find it. I was trying to scroll through and I couldn't find it. He was talking about the buyout specifically, seeing if we could post that so more people would understand the buyout, that it's not just $44 million right off the cuff. And the last thing I want to say before, Jay, you speak on something, and I'm going to mess it up. So Go ahead, Jay. Oh, it was this. It was this. And I don't want to really do a comparison, but I heard a crazy stat today about Oregon, Ohio State, and someone else. They have not. It was like 3 other teams in the top teams in the Big Ten. They haven't beaten a team. They haven't even played a team with a winning record in the conference.
Well, the crazy thing is the Big Ten's going to get.
They haven't played a team with a winning record in the conference.
Oregon has. They played Ohio State.
Outside of that team, that I forget. I'll have to go back and listen to what the stat was. It was
I'm not sure what it is. I got a question for people in the chat, and you can either call in and talk about it. You can drop it in the chat. But and this is an honest question that I don't know about. Let's just, I'm going to throw a name out there in the portal last year. Lance Hurd. Okay. Where does the NIL, as far as like when you're going to get players out of the portal, is it the assistant coach, O-line coach saying, hey, we got to get this guy. We need to pay this much money? Is it, who is divvying that money out?
Always has to go back to the head coach, Jay.
No, but do you remember? I thought I remember Brent Venables saying he doesn't deal with that. The coaches don't deal with the NIL.
I don't care if you deal with it or not. Your name's the head coach. You have to deal with it.
I know, but what I'm saying is, are they doing it wrong right now? Are they not dealing with it enough as coaches, or are they?
I don't know.
I'm just
I'll tell you
asking
another crazy stat.
Yeah. By the way, I agree, Clark. I love Josh McCuistion's stuff. I think his film stuff's really good.
I got another crazy stat for you, Jay.
Yeah. We got Johnson back on the lineup.
Rush defense efficiency. Do you know where OU's at in the country?
Number 2 in the nation.
They're the best SEC school.
Yeah, they're number 2 in the nation. I know.
Brent Venables has turned the defense around.
Nobody's germ. Why are you?
I just thought that was a crazy stat. 2nd in the nation, and we're this bad.
So
What's up, Johnson?
Says, what's up, Johnson?
Hey, I got one more.
Yeah. You there?
Yeah. I do have one more thing to talk about. I was asking a friend of mine just the other day, is the turnovers the biggest disaster this season, or is it the offensive line?
Turnovers.
They go hand in hand, Jay.
No, turnovers.
They go hand in hand.
They don't go hand in hand.
Hey, I got a serious question, guys. Seriously. So if we don't have back-to-back turnovers against Tennessee, we're in that game. We possibly could win the game.
Correct. Same with South Carolina.
Same with South Carolina, and the same with Missouri.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, because if we didn't have the turnovers, the game could have pivoted one way or the other. Texas, we just got beat. But then Ole Miss, we could have maybe won that game. So that's the thing that I don't understand is just the whole turnovers, and it's like that's where it comes back to the development of the quarterback. We not ball security, not talking enough about that. Or maybe they do. I don't know. But I just wanted to see what y'all thought of. I think the most disastrous thing is if you go back and look at it, is the turnovers in all these games. Just put it, like South Carolina, it was over 5 minutes into the game.
I agree. It was over.
And if Arnold doesn't fumble on the 5-yard line, is Tennessee a different game? And is the season a different season?
Well, not probably with the quarterback play they're having. Probably.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But if we didn't have those early turnovers at Tennessee, maybe we get a little bit more momentum. And I don't know, the season. I just think the turnovers has been the biggest obstacle. And I know the O-line is a big obstacle. I just want to see what y'all's thought was.
I think they go hand in hand, but I do think the turnovers are probably more elevated. Thanks again, man.
All right, sorry. Thanks for letting me back in. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. I agree with the turnovers. And here's the thing. They've gotten almost like they've gotten worse as the years went on. And
here's the crazy thing.
Here's what you cannot deny. I know you can look around the country and there are some freshmen playing good, but Jackson Arnold had 1 game last year. Michael Hawkins had no games. So they're kind of learning on the fly with no coaching, and it's not helping them, and they're going backwards. There's no really buddy developing them. Injuries and inexperience, I think.
Really quickly, and Johnson is absolutely correct, but here's the other thing, Jay. It wasn't even turnovers. It's not just that they turned it over. How many of the turnovers went for 6?
Yeah.
They weren't just turnovers. They were pick 6s, fumble 6s, scoop and scores, all of them.
Yeah, 44 points.
And hey, big shout out to the Fan Stop at thefanstop.com. It is November 13th?
Yeah.
You need to sign up Go on the fanstop.com and sign up by November 20th. That way you will be sure to get the December shirt of the month club, which is an elite Christmas design. It's unbelievable. You'll want it. You'll get your shirt, your welcome shirt, and then you'll get the December shirt. And then you'll get a shirt each month. It's going to be great. Softball season rolls around. They'll have softball shirts. Thefanstop.com for all your OU apparel needs. John, use code SURGE, get 10% off.
Hey, I got something fun to do. You ready for it? I thought about this today. I was listening to some music and I was playing some old school stuff. And I played a song and I was like, gosh, that reminds me of OU football this year. Drop it in the chat. What song reminds you of this OU football season? I'll tell you the one I was listening to today. It's What's Going On. You know that song?
Hey, what's going on?
I said, hey.
I've got a better one.
Is that 5 Non-Blondes or something?
I've got a better one.
But okay, you got a better one than that?
Mark says can't touch us. I got a better one.
That's a good
Y'all
one.
gonna make me lose my mind up in here. Y'all gonna make that's
Do you know the rest of it?
no. Act a fool up in here.
I got a good one for a lot of the Sunshine Pumpers.
What's that?
This may go the other way, but I like big butts, but the B-U-T. You like it? But
Oh, that's a great one, Jay.
I like big butts, but I cannot because
But it's
but as in,
B-U-T. I like
but-
that, Jay.
but got to give them, but injuries, but
That's a good one, Jay. I like it.
that's pretty good.
Someone
Crazy by CeeLo. This is some good stuff.
Hey, I've got first 3 paragraphs of my children's book done. Fiends, fantastic failure. Elite.
You're going to read it to us every day. You're going to read us what
No,
you
I'm
got.
not. I'm not reading my children's book before it even gets published.
Sooner fans got chiseled in stone, Vern Godwin.
Crazy Train.
That's a good one. Man, I knew they
I got one for all the Sunshine Pumpers. You ready?
So is this song for you?
No, but hey, here it is again.
What?
Don't stop believing.
Mess says I like 12-0, but another Crazy Train, Paranoid, KB Longhorn. Man, I knew the Surgeaholics would just drop them in
That's
here.
a great question, Jay.
Great question, man.
Sooner fan, I've watched 5 or 6 of them.
You know what would be a great question? I would ask Brent Venables that on Tuesday. I think it'd be a great question. I would love to hear his answer on it. What he would come up with, what song.
Yeah,
Make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen.
ask that question, someone. Theme from MASH. That's great, Monty.
I may actually
With all the injuries,
text into T-Row and see if he can ask him on Monday Night Coaches Show.
Mez says I should play Don't Stop Believing tomorrow on the Trump.
Taps. We are the champions. Man, there's some good stuff. Taps.
Great
Swain
stuff.
says, love and touch and squeezing.
That's a good one.
You're not squeezing the football.
No. I think drop it like it's hot. They can't hold on to the football.
Yeah. What's that one that goes, I'll think of it in a minute. I'll think of it. It's a good one. No.
That's the one Jay said, yeah.
Chevy
we
says,
spent 6 minutes talking about songs that describe the season.
Chevy says, there's context to how this season has turned out. Fans just want to overlook it. Are you talking about the injuries?
Yeah, what's the call in 6-0 Chevy? Love to hear from you. Lofton is kind of like the GM, yes.
He is, but does he? I mean, I still would like to know that process. See you again, Wiz.
Hey, wait, we've got a story for Jay and I.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
Jay already knows. So listen, Jason and I have guys. You're going to want to hear. Tune in right now. Get close.
Let's get the Coconut Greg first. Are you going to go this first?
You don't want to miss this, okay? Jay and I are not good at song lyrics. We're actually horrible. The song by Fine Young Cannibals, She Drives Me Crazy. Jay and I used to think that song said, She drives me crazy like long white hair.
Yeah, I don't know why we thought
We
that.
did not know it was no one else.
Well, it
We would
does
go
sound-
around.
A lot of
That's a
people
good
do those
story,
songs, though, Jeremy. A lot of people do those.
Jay,
Yeah,
Dan Mullen's in Tulsa tomorrow night, correct?
correct.
Might need to tune in that telecast.
Why is that?
I'm just saying that. Stiller Man, do you know Hunter? Curious.
Yeah, Thunder Live will be on right after this. Thunder with the big W tonight. Pelicans they didn't have as they were
Bad.
injured.
Bad.
They were injured.
I did like what I heard from Danny Stutzman. I'm sure.
Yeah, but
it
when have
means
you
nothing.
not, Jerm? When have you not? He always says the right stuff.
Yeah, he does. He always says the right things. And I liked it. I'm going to tell you, John, why I think it. I'm going to say it again. There is zero pressure for Dan Mullen. If they stink next year, who cares for Dan Mullen's sake? I don't think Dan Mullen cares to be a head coach, so he's not trying to work his way up the ladder. He's been there, done that. I think he just wants to geek out and call plays again.
I don't know if he's considering. I really don't, Jerem. No clue. They're still dropping songs in here. A lot of activity on the TU campus. Hey, do you think TU fans are going to show up tomorrow afternoon? I think that thing's like 12 or 1.
Wait, the game is?
No, they do like a pre-show, kind of like game day, but it's Matt Berry and
yeah, it's
Mullen.
going to be bad, Jay. It's not going to be good. SC Live from TU is what it's called.
Yeah, I just can't imagine there being.
Okie Lawn, he's a great play caller, period. What makes him that? He's done it before. He's had great quarterbacks. He's developed quarterbacks. He took Alex Smith from a mid talent to a number 1 pick.
Benjamin, real quick. I think there's a misconception about Mullen, and it's this. A lot of people say, "What did he do?" Well, the year before he got fired, the 3 years leading up to that last year, 3 New Year's Eve bowl games, SEC championship. I mean, the last year he stunk. He had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Okay, but the other years at Florida, they were on New Year's Eve bowl games. And the SEC,
Jay,
I'm just saying.
What were their recruiting ranks his years? Like top 10.
2021 and 20. The last 3 years he was there, 8, 9, and 12 or something.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, by the way, Kelvin, that Coney Island is the OG Coney Island, and it's the best one. Absolutely. And another thing.
Yeah.
Okie Lawn wants proof. Alex Smith, there's a guy, number 1 pick.
Well, we don't need to go through all these names.
Brian Johnson, who they went 13-0 and won the Sugar Bowl, I believe, with him. Tim Tebow wasn't the most talented guy. Did pretty well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Seemed like he knew what he was doing out on the field. Offense.
Now, here's a question. You are going to have to probably hire somebody that fits Brent Venable's mold, I guess. But
does he have good morals or morals?
I don't think anybody knows what Brent Venable's going to do.
Bobby says he's got the little candy store at the Mother Road. I love the Mother Road Market.
I didn't know Bobby was in the Mother Road, though.
Ton of TU alum.
I'm going to have to come visit in the Mother Road when I'm in town.
Yes, Bobby. Alex Smith.
Well, I hate to be this way, but Caleb Williams made a stat this week that nobody in last 30 years has done in NFL. So maybe Caleb Williams won't turn out either. I'm just saying you can't just
Alex
miss on that.
wait.
Alex Smith was drafted
was
number 1.
Unbelievable in the
He was
NFL.
number 1 draft pick. Yeah.
No, even when he got in the NFL, though.
He got hurt.
But he was really good.
Yeah,
in
but
the
he didn't
NFL.
have, he kind of didn't pan out what they thought he would as the number 1 pick.
Alex Smith?
Yeah, he didn't. Not
He
till
had
later.
great seasons.
Not till later in his career, Jerm.
He had great seasons.
Not till later in his career.
Doesn't matter. He had great seasons.
Not till later in his career.
If Dan Mullen was so good, why is he talking football instead of coaching football? Because he got out of it.
I don't want to go down this road about talking about.
If Urban Meyer's so good, why is he out of it? Because he got out of it.
I do think Andy Reid helped him out a lot. I would agree with that.
Well, yeah, Andy Reid is good.
Are you still high on Cade Bell, Jerm? You've drawn back those.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say. I am really high on Cade Bell. I like Cade Bell. I think he's like an up-and-coming guy. Okay? The more I look at it, though, I don't know if they want a guy who's never been around the SEC. Now, maybe they do. Florida did fire him.
Cade Bell is low on my list right now. I got him down there with probably. I mean, I don't have.
He was
him,
high on your list, Jay.
He was. I don't have him in my top 5 now. I think BB's got to go bigger than that. Has to. So, in fact, I see the name Arbuckle mentioned a lot. But if Arbuckle's only making $500,000 at Washington State, so you could get him probably for a decent rate. But I think you got to pay bigger and go get somebody big.
John Gruden,
Yeah.
Jay. There it is.
John Gruden. Anything else tonight, Jeremy? What's going on? We're going to be on Thunder Live in a little bit, right?
Correct. I don't know. I
So-
mean, it's a bye week for OU football.
Players spoke with the media tonight.
Yeah.
So
Players spoke with media. Didn't hear from coaches. Dark horse for OC. I mean, John Gruden would be a dark horse because I don't think it's happening.
we got a caller on the line. What's up, Jackson? What's up, Jackson?
What's up, guys? Hey, so this is something that I've thought about. This came to my mind probably a couple hours ago. I wonder what your guys' take on it would be. So, Florida State to this offseason, they're going to have an offensive coordinator opening. They might have a head coach opening as well because we don't really know if Mike Norvell is going to be there
They're
next year or
keeping
not.
Norvell. They're keeping Norvell.
Okay. And then, but like when you look at it, you would expect probably Florida State and OU to be in the run for some of the same guys like Joe Craddock, Arbuckle, Cade Bell. I wouldn't be shocked if both Florida State and OU give a call to Dan Mullen just because Dan Mullen, he has the reputation that speaks for itself. I don't know, like if you were an OC, would you rather go to Florida State or Oklahoma right now? Because when you look, it's because I think it's a very interesting conversation because they both are teams that massively underperformed. Their head coaches both going to next year going to be on the hot seat, you would expect. And so if you're an OC, Mike Norvell is more of an offensive guy, so you might not get as much control of the offense as if you come to play, or if you
That's verbatim.
for
That's
a guy like
verbatim
Brent
what
Venables.
Dusty said today. Yeah, that's verbatim.
That's where I heard that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
hey,
so I want to get your guys' thoughts. on it.
Jackson, here's my thoughts. Steve Stutzman's got a thought. He says Dan Mullen goes in a trash bin. He's got to recycle in the trash.
Oh, Dan! For a second there, I thought it was DeMarco Murray. I was like, "What?"
No, I think it's Dan Mullen.
Dan Mullen.
Hey, but listen, I think OU, and this is, you can rip me all you want. Jay, go for it if you want, and others can
Why
go
would
for
I
it.
rip you? What are you going to say?
What I'm about to say. Because I know people have ripped me all year long when I've talked about culture. Okay. I don't really give a rip what other people think about what my opinion is on culture. But I even said it based on the fact that no one's throwing in the towel. No one's giving up on the field. It tells me a lot of what I need to see. That BB has not lost anyone on the team. Now, here's the deal. What I'm saying that for is you're going to bring in an OC, I think, that has to work well with BV. So, and the same thing with Florida State. Like, first off, I don't think Florida State's getting rid of Norvell. So, but there's definitely you've got to have some kind of chemistry. But there's the other side of that would say, well, no, you don't. You can have friction. You guys, you can argue in that on the sideline. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, and something that I said earlier in the chat too was just the culture stuff. I know you stuff. Well, I think that Brent Venables was too worried about not wanting to pay the big bucks for one or two players, see if it makes other guys in the locker room jealous, that culture aspect. Well, I do think that last year he probably didn't get as much of maybe the NIL opened him to go out and spend as he would like. But this offseason, it's like, who cares? Like, obviously, I don't want to make this comparison OU to Georgia, but you've seen at Georgia, they've had a lot of players get in trouble off the field, and you don't hear about culture issues at Georgia. And they're winning national championships, competing in the SEC. So it's like you just go out and get the best players, the best OC that's available. You don't care. Jeremy, I agree. I'm tired of this culture crap about, well, who maybe fits the culture the best. You just go out and you get the best players that are going to win you football
Well,
games.
you just took word. I didn't say that. So,
You're muted, Jay.
Jay,
Jeremy's saying the opposite of that, I think, Jackson.
I said the
Oh,
opposite.
you're saying the
of
opposite?
Jackson.
All right. Well, I misunderstood you.
Yeah, I'm saying I think they're going to bring someone who fits with their same mentality.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm talking about like players, not coaches.
Hey, but real quick, I got to get
Thanks
to
for the call, Jackson.
Yep.
I got to get to some of these comments. To say BV wants schoolboys, not dogs, that's a horrible. That is a horrible way of saying it.
Yeah,
They got some dogs. Again, I'm going to say this and rip me again. Number 2 ranked rushing efficiency and defense, not in the SEC, guys, in the country. Now, it hasn't equivocated the wins, and that's the problem.
the deal, Jeremy. It was mentioned by who was it that brought up Johnson? You're not winning any games when you turn the ball over as much as OU. Period.
It's not
You're
just
winning
turnovers.
games.
It's they were scoop sixes, almost.
They're touchdowns.
Go back to the 3 games Johnson mentioned. Tennessee. Well, Tulane, they had a pick 6.
Yes.
Tennessee, where they turned it over, was bad. South Carolina, 2 of the 3 went for TDs. Missouri went for a TD. I mean, bad.
You can't win games that way. Period. Now, other than the South Carolina game, which was a blowout, the Tennessee Missouri games were winnable.
This is my other issue, Jay, is OU has a budget, Sooner WX says. And I know people were talking about it today. People say, well, OU's going all in 2025. That's ridiculous. They should have last year then. I don't get what that
Yeah, it's I cannot comment on it. Now, I have no clue about it.
Because I don't know what it means.
Yeah, I have no clue what they're giving out, and it's hard for me to comment on it. So it's really you can believe what people say, or you can't. I mean, you don't. I don't know. I just don't know. I until I hear it from somebody that's in NIL world with Oklahoma. How do you really know? So
and I'm going to say this too, because there's a saying in sports, Jay. You ready for it?
Sure.
Fill in the blank. Winning
fixes everything.
You're close. Winning cures all.
Okay.
Same thing. Winning cures all. And hey, no one would care if the culture was really good and they were winning. No one would be saying anything about it.
No, you're
right. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone can bash that part of it. The issue is they're not winning. It's not. I don't think it has anything to do with anything else. They're just not winning games.
That's right. I would
It's
agree.
1-11 in the ranked games, and that doesn't bode well. But what's it going to take? I think an elite hire, and they've got to win in the portal. They have to win in the portal.
And what
offense.
What nobody's really talking about is you got to hold the recruiting class together. You can't lose a lot.
And that's why someone earlier said if they were to get rid of BV, Trap House, they'd probably lose.
They would have an exodus for sure. Yeah. And they're definitely keeping Schmitty. Schmitty's not going anywhere as long as BV's there. Oh, man.
Yeah, well, I
It's
saw
been
someone
good.
said they want to know
Been
who
good.
Steve wanted for the coordinator. Maybe you can drop it in there later. And I'm
Yeah,
not
I
talking
see
about
these.
that kind of stuff, Coconut Greg, but you're right. Yeah. Hey, guys, thank you, everyone, for your comments tonight. Fun conversation tonight as we continue to get after it. It's a bye week for the Sooners. Players did talk to the media. If you haven't gotten a chance, go see some of those interviews on Twitter and things. I thought there were some really good interviews about kind of where everyone's mindset is, and it didn't seem like it was in a bad spot, which I think is at least good news again for the last 2 games. They got senior night coming in a week and a half. Everyone can enjoy college football this weekend and not have to stress out about a game. And then other than that, Jay, that's about it. We got a Thunder Forum Live coming up next. We're going to see everyone tomorrow night. Have a terrific Thursday, Sooner Nation.